It's hard
Yeah.
to break out and
Yeah.
do something different when you're alone. But when you find somebody else that digs what you're doing and you go,
And with the kind of sexual attraction
right.
and the chemistry, I think it is so important for people to remember the wholeness of who they are and what they have to offer and how they can receive things that they never even fathomed. They never even
Mm.
thought were a possibility. No, they never even brought into the realm of I could be making love with this person for the rest of my life. Or it's exhilarating for me, the enormity of it, the kind of the overwhelming feeling of, oh, that could never happen. When, man, if we step into the unknown with an open heart.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Success Stories by the Conscious Dating Network. My name is Jill Crosby, and today I am very excited to be joined by Cara and Wilde. Hi, you guys.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, hello.
So, Cara and Wilde live up in the high desert, and you guys met 8 years ago. Is that right?
Yes, our 8-year anniversary is around the corner on Halloween.
Is that your anniversary of when you met or when you got married?
8 years, that would be when we started, I guess, dating and seriously.
In person.
Well, we actually met. I was searching online and was looking at a lot of the write-ups of what people put forth for others to view. And Cara's really stood out because one, because of her education. She has a PhD. She's a professor of critical philosophy. Beauty was
Aw.
definitely another one, and her honesty about who she is, where she is, with a child and a 5-year-old. And I had at the time, how old were they? 15 and 17.
Teenage daughters.
Yeah, I had teenage daughters, and Cara had a 5-year-old son. When I contacted you, a video,
Skype, I
yeah,
think, right?
Skype, and then so that was 8.5 years
That
ago.
was a while ago, right?
Right.
We were at My
And
son and I were living in an eco village in New York at the time.
right.
Right.
And Cara had a lot of hair then. She's had short hair, she's had long hair. There's different times in her life. And she had a lot of hair, and Zazu had a lot of hair.
My son, Zazu, our son,
And then he was playing and
frizzing it.
frizzing it up while
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 you were having a Skype date?
the first
Our number one.
and
I do
Oh,
remember that. Yes.
and then I think he became
He's trying
then
to.
he think he started to pull it more for
I
fun.
remember trying to hold myself together a little bit in the midst of
yeah.
Right,
a
right.
lot
Focus
of
on the man.
anticipation.
So one of the things away was just honesty.
Right.
Like
No hiding
her kid was there. There was, you know,
with all of our hair
yeah, lots
and
of hair. There was
attitude.
frustration,
Yeah,
and then it was quite a
a
while.
lot of energy.
And then you reached out to me and invited me to come speak.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I was doing a series inviting scientists. Wild is a bat ecologist, a wildlife biologist, and I had so this was at Eco Village Ithaca in New York, and I had been doing a series for one of my books. It was a cross-cultural climate justice book, and inviting scientists who use storytelling to talk about how they involve how they cross the line between science and story, and how they try and get their audiences involved and engaged and feeling alive and excited about their scientific research in the context of story. And that's what I had been writing about. So I invited Wilde, who was then traveling at the time, to bring his bats and his flying squirrels to the eco village and be on a panel with. I think they were a handful. I did a series, and Wilde was traveling to various museums in New York, so that worked out perfectly and brought his animals. That's when we've met in person first.
And we met in person, and each of us were dating somebody
We were
else
at that
by
point.
then.
We had already, because
Right.
time had passed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it was we were both, I think, very involved
Mhm.
with
Other
individual people.
somebody else
Wait
that
a minute.
Also from Green Singles.
also from both of us, also from Green
Green
Singles.
Singles. Yeah. Yeah, we had
Okay,
been involved for months.
let's back up a minute. So,
Oh, yeah.
so you meet each other on Green Singles. You have a video date. It goes well enough.
A few.
A few, okay, a few
I
video
remember
dates.
because I remember being in another space, and when Zazu wasn't there, when my son wasn't there, and I remember the kind of the conversation, how it was different.
So, okay, I think this is really kind of key. I mean, your gloss
Okay.
want to just go move on, but the thing
yeah.
is sometimes people will have a date and did you guys click? Did you think you had chemistry? Like, why didn't you continue moving forward with it?
Well, Wild was in Michigan, and
So
I was in
the
Zazu and I were
distance factor.
in New York. It was the distance factor. I don't drive, um, so the complexity of it. We both found
Both
people who
having
were,
kids.
yeah, exactly, and we both found people who were right next to. I mean, my person was maybe
they're
40 minutes away,
handier.
half an hour away.
Okay, so you
So
met
just for
some
the
people
sake of
that were a little handier location wise, and you also connected with, and you were pretty deeply
absolutely.
involved with. So then Wilde comes out to speak in New York and brings his bats and flying squirrels. Yeah, is that what I
Flying
heard?
squirrel.
Okay.
Yes. And then the other
Okay.
scientists, they were all from very different disciplines. And of course, when we first met in person, there was a lot of energy there. There was a lot of attraction, and
Ooh,
the guy who I was dating was also in the audience um, at
ooh,
the time.
I'm getting goosebumps like just about your first meeting.
Yeah, it was. It was. I remember the green shirt that Wild was wearing, and our late night conversations after the panel, when he first arrived, before the panel, and then following the panel, um, and my whole body being churning, thinking about all the what ifs, that the possibilities.
But
Wow.
there wasn't any outward flirting. I mean, we were both involved with somebody
Right.
else, but
Yeah.
we were both like, "Oh, wow, I really like this person." And so we had really great conversations, but
Yeah.
also, yeah, we had some definite chemistry there. And
Committed.
right afterwards I left and I kind of was like, "Oh boy, she was great," you know. But the distance definitely, kind of we went back to our other
Our lives.
lives and
Yeah.
relationships. And
And
I looked you up again.
then is that okay?
Right.
Okay.
I wasn't with anybody
And I left my person in New York.
and
Yeah.
so I was coming
Okay.
out to Denver to speak at several museums. I looked
Ooh.
her up, and
The
then
botanical.
I
Yeah.
invited Cara and Zazu to come and
Aw.
watch. Yeah,
Ooh.
and so
But actually, it was just me for the when you were at the botanical. That's
right.
right. Zazu did a sleepover, and then I remember how incredibly nervous I was in waiting for you, and I think you had an audience of a couple of thousand, something like that, and I was speaking to my best friend in California on the phone, um, and we were tittering with excitement.
Yeah,
But
so
that was our first night
yeah,
together.
then we had dinner and we talked about that neither one of us were with anybody. We shared that, and then we were like, okay, then
That was
let's
it.
let's get together. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
From that point on, Wild just traveled back and forth almost every other week, something like that, between Michigan and Colorado. And then that didn't last long. I think at that point we realized this is too painful being apart.
Yeah.
We traveled. We went to Pennsylvania to my mother's house, and that's when we decided to get the bus and to move together to a small town, not a small town, a suburb of Detroit, and do the bus conversion. Isn't that what happened in my mom's house? Yeah, that's and so then it was just an avalanche of deliciousness because we were together.
Talk about destined to be together. I mean, you guys almost tried not to be, and it just was like, no, you guys need to be together.
Right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah.
I thought one of the really interesting things also about Green Singles that we were on that site, but also I looked at the Spiritually Conscious, and I did look at other sites that are connected. What I really liked about them was that there were looking for friendship. There was looking for
long term.
connection. There was looking. I feel like that already opened up a possibility for us to develop a friendship and an understanding prior to dating.
Even though I think we both had marked long term.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. And I didn't
little...
mark just friendship either, but what I mean is that not us specifically, but I felt like that the site and other people, too, were being honest about, hey,
these are my needs,
or
open to other things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people might initially go in looking for a relationship, and while they're looking for that relationship, it usually happens that they meet some friends along the way. And
which
because
did.
Yeah, I mean, because it's almost like it's hard not for that to happen because you have so much in common, and there's that mutual, like, you guys had a lot of respect for each other, and I've noticed that is one of the big factors in people getting together and lasting, because if you don't respect the other person, it's just, I don't see it working. I really don't. And that was one of the first things you said, is her PhD. And then you invited him to speak, Cara. So you respected
that professional element.
Right. And it's
and I think that's one thing that's so specific about who we are as individuals and what we are as a couple, which is that we don't separate our work from art. We don't separate our politics from our daily lives. We don't separate parenting from our politics, from our daily lives, from beauty and how we just function in terms of the mundane. It's all wrapped together. Both, that's what I found in Wilde, and that's certainly how I choose. It's not even a choice. It just is. And then coming together, and that kind of intimacy and integration and living our integrity together, I think, is really what holds us in the midst of living a very countercultural kind of life, which is obviously amazingly challenging and beautiful and challenging, and to do that together is such a gift.
I respect that, because it's you're holistically living, and you've integrated everything together, and it's not like, oh, we go to work and we leave it at work. You're living your passion in all areas, is what I'm getting. And even without you actually saying that, it's like you are living your passions and your values, really.
Yeah, on all sides, and we traveled quite a bit also in the bus. We lived at different eco villages. We've lived in different small towns. The pandemic hit, so everything closed. So we just were completely self-contained. We've got solar, and we've got everything's used solar. There's a reason that we live this way, and that's because one is we learned about so much that's still viable that is thrown away.
Definitely.
And then the second thing is that Cara was a professor at the University of California. I worked at a science museum, and sometimes when you're in the business for long enough, you find out how institutions you do find out how limiting they are. We had both quickly gotten to a point where there was no more growth. And so for growth, we needed to basically reject the institutions.
Mhm.
And one of the questions that we get often is, well, how could everyone do that? Even my own family says, well, I couldn't go without, I don't know how would I pay for all these things? And I'm like, well, one of the things is, well, you have 10 different types of insurance. Maybe cutting back on, you know, I see. Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, there's so much, but
I think a
one
lot
of
of it is the take it for granted, bringing light.
well, and that society says, and I
Yeah.
grew up in the Midwest. I got married early on and had kids right away, and there are expectations, even if they're
Mhm.
not blatant,
It's the same.
they're the
Same
expectations of what
implicit.
to do.
Yeah,
And then sometimes traveling, sometimes reading, sometimes just meeting other people, a lot of times just meeting other people and
right,
talking,
right.
you realize we could
Do things differently, right?
we could build a lifestyle
Yeah.
that both of us feel impassioned by. Wait a second. I could do this with somebody else and actually get it done. Like so many times, you know, we hear from people and they're alone.
They're struggling, right,
And
right.
it's hard
Yeah.
to break out and do something different when you're alone. But when you find somebody else that digs what you're doing and you go,
And with the kind of sexual attraction
right.
and the chemistry and the physical, also physical respect in that way. So the respect isn't just intellectual or spiritual or political, ethical, but it's also a deep respect for our bodies in relation to one another.
5 years ago,
Oh,
we got
Oh,
matching tattoos,
beautiful.
pretty much matching. Mine says love and and Cara says home and wild.
Woo!
And yep,
and it's an infinity
that's how we became permanent.
Oh,
unified.
Yeah.
And here's our puppy
oh,
dog, our Alaskan
that's
malamute.
so sweet. I mean, okay, I want to hit on a couple points here. Number one, that you reevaluated your lives and your priorities, and you figured out what you didn't need and what was not working for you anymore, and how maybe corrupt some of the systems were that you used to believe in.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like opted out, like, we're going to do our own thing. We don't need to follow all the rules. We don't need to do what society says we're supposed to do. It's like taking responsibility and control of your own life and literally choosing every little thing and looking at every little thing differently. Like, just because I've been programmed and told by parents, societies, education that this is how it's supposed to be, well, it's
Yes.
actually not necessarily the case. And who are we bringing in? Oh, hi, baby. Oh
Mochi.
my
Oh, you're not gonna sit
gosh,
on
look
that.
at
Okay.
you.
Boy, the
Oh,
big,
who's that? Oh God,
yeah,
he or she gorgeous.
big,
Yeah.
big puppy boy.
Good boy. Is he a husky?
Alaskan Malamute. Yeah, we got him at a shelter recently. His year
Oh, he's
anniversary
new.
is
Oh God,
Yeah.
we love.
a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're his third family. We got him at 10 months old. and
Oh
and we're
gosh.
his third family. I mean, it's kind of like our lives, this bus was going to be crushed at the school district because
Ah,
it was a school nobody wanted this giant bus that still worked perfectly fine, but they didn't have enough kids. I drove to rural Indiana to go get it and bring it back, and then we built it out together as a family
Yeah.
and as a homeschool, an entire semester homeschool
For Zazu.
for
Yeah.
Zazu, and then went on the road and found places to live and met people and um,
But we've been here for about 5 years, and
yeah,
the idea was really to root
yeah,
together. And I
mhm.
just want to say also, with what you're speaking about with choosing and remembering that what we're taught as the givens are not necessarily reality. Those are
Yeah.
constructions. the idea of to choose is the word heretic means to choose. And going back to the idea of attraction and the idea of being heretical beings together is very arousing, for both of us. And that what's the it's actually even a checkbox in some single sites. Sapio, I'm forgetting.
Oh,
Sapio, when
I
you're
know there's so many terms.
with it, yeah, when you're attracted to
Sapiosexual, they say.
sexual, right.
Yeah.
And again, that kind of holism, where our minds and bodies are completely woven.
Right. That's amazing. Well, and the fact, and we haven't actually said it outright, but so you guys are living in a a school bus that you have renovated. Is that the right word? Renovated? Built out?
Converted.
Converted.
Yeah.
Converted.
So
There you go.
It's a funny
Yeah.
term.
So we converted it from a school bus to a home,
Mhm.
and
Right, from a transportation.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of the reasons why we did it was because of the that it was going to be crushed. A giant school bus with working windows, working doors,
Completely functional. Yeah.
and a function.
Like,
They would have pulled out the engine. That's the only thing they would have done, is they would have pulled out the engine and then crushed everything else for the metal. Well, it's a great shell to start with. We had never I've done some construction, but and I was doing
Yeah.
some antique restoration in Detroit. And so Cara and Zazu came and moved out to Pontiac, uh, um, Michigan, just north of Detroit. And so we got this bus and we planned the whole thing out and we documented everything. My daughter,
we blue skied.
right? My
The idea
daughters were there, were there too, to
what does that
living
mean,
there
blue
to,
sky?
Blue sky. It's a term in choreography, where anything is possible.
I see. Yeah.
You
The
just
sky is the limit kind of thing. You're
Yeah, you
like,
just put
what do we want
every
ideally?
possible dream.
yeah.
Love it.
So we
Okay.
blue sky,
We didn't limit ourselves.
we blue skied a lot.
Yeah. It was a big part of
Like
the beginning of our
a couple
relationship.
times a year. We would blue sky, and I have all those
Yeah,
notes
we
still.
can still,
Yeah,
right.
dates and everything.
Yeah,
And really we did land
as a regular, right.
where we want,
I know.
where we want it, sun. We're off grid. But we went basically dumpster diving and into alleys and found great wood to put on the walls. We found flooring that was pulled out of an old house that I milled and then turned into beautiful oak floors.
Yeah.
We found
The granite.
the granite that somebody was updating to get a new color granite.
Different color.
So we trolled the more affluent places on garbage night and got. I mean,
Well, and part that was building relationships. It was building our relationship and
Yeah.
understanding our limits in relation to
Yeah.
society. Again, in relation to societal norms.
Yeah.
It was building
Yeah.
our relationship with our children, who, often embarrassed by
and now
being
are so
different.
proud.
Yeah.
They were embarrassed then a little bit.
But also
Sure.
then building relationships with a different community.
Right. The neighbor, people would come over, and at first you're like, what are you doing? And then
Yeah. And the
that's really
kids would come
cool.
over.
And can we help?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then they would learn about their lives.
Yeah.
And they would ask questions about their own take it for granted norms and their own way
Yeah.
of being in relation to
And
objects.
I'd ask them, what would you do?
Mhm.
Remember? And then we had problem solving. So
Right.
I knew how to solve.
Yes.
I may have
Yes.
known how to solve something, but there were all these kids there. And I said, well, let's sit down with paper and pencil
Yeah.
and how would you solve this problem of something that
With a
needs to be
chimney.
replaced or
Yeah.
And so it was a really beautiful, time.
Yeah. Unfolding.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we had no map. It was just jumping
and
in.
you're just
Yeah.
sharing the experience, and it's becoming you're finding all these little teaching moments within the sharing, and also like waking people up to realize, oh, things could be different. Like it
Well,
doesn't always have to be that way.
right. Well,
Yeah.
and Jill, going back to why maybe we're here too, we
Yeah.
learned how to deal with also stress and problem solving in a relationship
Hmm.
too.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
and so we all came down with the stomach flu at the same time as we're building.
This is in the winter in Michigan.
Right.
This is,
Oh,
And so
and we were partially in the bus. We were
big
also, yeah,
challenge.
it
so
was,
I mean that so when you go through these things together, it does, I don't, not test, but
yeah.
it's gonna tell you a lot
Well, and then
how
also,
things are gonna go later on.
and dealing with authorities, how people um would discriminate
Yeah.
against us,
When
in
the
terms of,
sheriff called on us because
yeah,
they thought we were trashy, having a school bus.
me-
But the sheriff
Sure.
was just like, we don't care. We just had to come out and talk to you.
they were curious,
Uh,
and they wanted to learn. They luckily
Yeah.
they were also wanting to
Yeah.
learn how to be in relation differently.
Yeah.
You know, when they saw that our focus wasn't just
Throwing down a mattress.
conversion, right. It was much more of a whole story involving beauty, involving respect,
Yeah.
involving
mhm.
how do we raise our children differently? How do we develop our new, because it was a fairly new relationship
Yeah.
at that point.
Right.
'Cause we really jumped in quickly,
Right.
from the long distance to the, wow, we're doing this bus thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very much of an integrated process.
Yeah. And all along and in our entire relationship, Carl writes about everything. And so
Ah,
she,
Nothing is is private.
right. And so she writes and writes and writes. So we'll be building all day long, and then she'll write all night long. And
wow.
so she's always writing. And that's one of the things, though, too, that like if you were at an institution, you wouldn't be able to do that so much.
Right.
There's certain things that you could do or couldn't do.
Creativity is actually
Well,
inhibited.
and
Yeah,
often if it wasn't making money, if you weren't fundraising, if
right.
you weren't getting more grants, if you weren't getting more students, if you weren't, then it's, okay, well, you can take a sabbatical in 10 years and do that
Right,
kind of
right,
thing.
right.
But so it wasn't that we gave up our previous
Right.
interess,
We
and
will.
and we're
Yeah,
we're still doing all those things.
yeah,
We're just doing them in a different way.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
are you doing what are you doing to buy food, or do you grow all your food? Do you have any expenses, and what do you do to generate financial,
Yeah.
any kind of money or payment system type stuff?
Well, I'm glad you're asking, because that's so essential to this process, which is seeing our our relationship to abundance and seeing our relationship to needs very
Mhm.
differently. And doing it with someone is really essential, because we can think that we need something like all those insurances, or that the child needs a new pair of shoes, when in fact we live in community, and there's so much. So what we've developed together is a whole other kind of sacred economics, where, and we are incredibly fortunate to be living in a community where we can barter. But even in New York, I lived in San Francisco for 20 years, and all of the boroughs of Manhattan, and I did all different kinds of bartering in the most urban, in Seoul, Korea, bartering. So that possibility to barter also in relation, where we can trade what we both can offer to get our needs done and our kids' needs in relation to others in our community.
So one is like this time of year, we just went through there's organic orchards all over the place.
Mm.
And there are bumper crops every single year.
Fruit for gleaning,
And
and yeah.
then there's just signs, come and take it before it rots. So I
Nice.
canned 300
Huh?
not pints.
Quartz.
I canned 300 quarts of organic pears
And
just
peaches and
but
apples and
that was
apricot.
just the pears.
And that
I
was just
know,
pears,
right?
right? Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm doing applesauce right now. Well, we'll use that to trade. And then I'm a woodworker. I've made things, so I use that to trade. Kara's also Iyengar yoga teacher, so she uses that to trade. And so by far the majority of what we need comes from our neighbors and our friends.
And we also,
Nice.
this is our 2-year anniversary of a free store that we built here called Soul Space, Shared Opportunity Used Local Soul Space, and it's the
Mhm.
Soul Commons. And so it's
It's
so exciting how it's influenced the economic relationships here in our town, and how people have a different relationship. So it's not just us, but again, the ripple effect, have a different relationship to consumerism and to waste. And that kind of intimacy that people have been building in this free store has
yeah,
been tremendous
with each other,
with each
and
other.
also so it's a community thing. We built a free store so that people could drop good things off and pick good things up, still workable things,
Right.
books and shoes and kids
Appliances.
toys, appliances,
Kids.
clothing,
Kids, sometimes
kitchens.
kids. The kids there are there in
Oh,
abundance.
they
They're,
love it.
they're not traded, but they're
And you meet up there, and I it's right outside my shop, and so I get to hear everything,
yeah.
and but we're saving so much from the landfill,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then
Oh my gosh.
and from
Right.
lining the pockets of giant corporations
Yeah.
with poorly made products,
Right.
and now, but also we're saving tons of money, because
Right.
we're committed to it. But now we've encouraged hundreds of other families
Yeah.
to also be committed to it. And so it's just a
Uh,
great way to share. Your
To
kid
to
grows
build
out of
community.
something, or you get tired of something, you go and bring it there, you hang it up on a hanger, and then somebody comes by 4 minutes later, takes it off the hanger and starts wearing it.
it's great. I love it. That's so wonderful. Yeah. The landfills and all the trash people just casually throw away and don't even think about it is
Right.
kind of amazing, kind of insane, really. It's just
Yeah.
so
Oh, it's
bad.
beyond insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The waste.
And
And then
and
how do we
even
make that waste? Just how do we
huh?
turn it into something that is really positive? And
Yeah.
that's been so much of what everything that we're doing is about.
It's so great. Well, even a friend showed me that I live on a Caribbean island, and the oil that people bring to the dump there's just like a river of it now of oil,
What kind of oil?
like
From
like motor
Really
oil, like black.
change their oil.
motor oil. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's just soaking into the ground, and that could get into the groundwater and could eventually and get
Easily,
out to
right.
the
Yes.
Caribbean Sea. And it's just I was just kind of shocked that, I mean, it's there, but to see it and look at it, and I when I lived in Mount Shasta, I took all my own trash to the dump. Well, it was not it was like processing center, and
Right.
it made me
Yes.
much more aware when you have to like take your trash and look at all the other trash that's there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
throw it in with the rest. It's a kind of a wake up call, because I think a lot of people just don't even realize where it goes. They don't even think about that.
They don't put two and two together. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Well, same thing with where our food comes from, or where the clothes come from, and where
yeah,
they're going.
and
Yeah,
all the
all of that
chemicals
is
used in the clothes. A lot of the clothes, if it's not cotton or bamboo, I mean, they just a
absolutely.
lot of chemicals and crap, and
That's yeah. Oh no,
even
go ahead.
hair stuff, like shampoo. A friend of mine here.
Microplastics.
Oh, and chemicals, I can
Yeah.
smell, certain hair products I'll use that just don't have hardly any chemicals in them, because I can't even stand the smell of it. Like it'll
Right.
smell all day.
That's like the clothes that we get. Sometimes we find like a really great shirt. Like this was from the free store, this is a fun shirt, but sometimes you gotta leave them out on the line for 6 months because they use something with perfumes. So
the washing the laundry detergent stinks if you don't get the natural kind that's or just use vinegar, whatever. It's like, yeah, there's so much, it's so prevalent everywhere, and it's kind of like I find pieces of my life that I'm still not, that are not ideal. I'm like, okay, I need to look at that little bit now and reshape it. And that's how we learn, right? And that's how we grow and get past it all. And if I want to buy something new, great, okay, but I'll donate something. Like, because I live in a small 1-bedroom place, well, 2-bedroom, but it's small on the water, but small. So I don't like to, I don't like to accumulate a lot of stuff. So it's like, all right, if I buy something new, what am I going to get rid of, kind of thing? And I'm going to go donate it to the local animal shelter, thrift store that sells it for the animals. Like, it's kind of not quite barter, but similar.
Yeah.
Right.
Keeping it in the loop. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not going to throw it in the trash.
No, God forbid. And that just reminds me too, in terms of dating, when we're putting our values out there, and how do we, without being, obnoxious or
being honest.
But right, yeah. I mean, how do we just be honest if someone is wearing a perfume, or a cologne? I dated men who, one guy who I really liked, but the cologne was rough.
Mm-hmm. And I found on a lot of your sites, Jill, that a lot of people were very honest.
Mm-hmm.
They even said, things like, I don't wear deodorant. Like some people, it's like, because it is a lifestyle too.
Right.
It's a certain way, of, hey, these are normal body odors, and if you're not quite to that,
or hairy women, big category.
Well, and when people are writing their profile, I think it is important to be honest about things that are super important to each person. Yeah. Like, if you don't wear deodorant, you should say that on a profile, because not everybody is there for sure. And then even like chemical free, like the perfumes and the cologne and stuff like that, I can't stand it either. Right. But there are also nice ways to say it on a profile. Like,
no, I know. Right.
You can even say, I choose essential oils. I prefer amber myself. And I prefer that my future partner is of the same vein or has those same values or preferences. Mm-hmm. It can be a gentle way of saying it. That's not like, oh, I only, if you're not this way, then piss off,
right. Because then you're really limiting who may be interested.
Yeah.
Right. They may not realize, not everyone loves cologne and perfume.
That was a conversation I had with this guy, and he actually received it very well. And for me, it was also, not to be obnoxious, but an educational moment, for there to be, we can be in relation to our bodies differently. Maybe you actually do smell really good and you don't need to cover yourself up. Or women who shave, maybe.
Right. And everything's a choice.
Maybe your armpit hair is really sexy, and
it's such a choice. It's everything is such
so specific. Yeah.
Well, and it's such a preference.
To be open to those possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, but I was having that conversation with some friends and like, and they're like, well, we were actually talking about hair down there, and they were very specific about how it's supposed to be. And I was kind of like, it's a personal preference, and not everybody feels that way, you guys. Like, it's like, why, just because society or porn or whatever the hell wherever you get your ideas from says it's supposed to be like this now. It didn't used to have to be like that. Like,
right. Vogue, People magazine,
or other
teen magazine.
Exactly. Like, I've never been really like a trend follower. If anything, I see a trend and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm not saying those words anymore because everybody's saying those words. It's like, I'll do the opposite. kind of like the rebel at heart, right? But
Right.
it's
A
just,
heretic.
yeah, it's just interesting. Like I'll catch myself saying, oh, I have to go do this. I'll even say it out loud to a friend of mine. And I said that the other day, and I caught myself and I said, oh, I mean, no, I mean, I'm choosing to do it. And maybe it was even something for my business. And she's like, well, what do you mean you don't have to do it? I'm like, it's a choice. I mean, I could not
It's
do it.
empowerment.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit might fall apart, but I could choose.
But
It's
that's
my
part of
choice.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we talk
It-
about that a lot. Yeah,
that's
we
good.
have conversations like that a lot. Just try to shift some of our wording. You should do this, or but instead you say, well, let's talk about options that
Yeah,
Possibilities.
and possibilities, and then you may end up choosing the one you should have done that you should have done, but that's still your choice at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah,
not by
don't shit
default.
on me kind of thing. And what might be your highest and best choice, and going by inner guidance oftentimes. I have a question kind of back to dating. You guys are so interesting. We could probably go on about all kinds of stuff. But as far as like when conflict comes up, now I know you're 8 years into it, so it's always better and easier 8 years into it. You've learned each other, the ins and outs of everything. Do you have some tips and pointers for, when when you're triggered or something comes up for you, how do you handle that?
Immediately.
Good. Yeah.
That's I think one of the main things is immediately.
Don't let the story build.
We've also independently set some, I say, if it's important, don't be doing something else while talking about it. That just doesn't work for me. And so
Mhm.
that's what I say. I said, we need to then sit down.
Because I'm a multitasker.
And so I've
It's
explained to
challenging.
Cara that doesn't work for me. I get distracted with something, let's sit down, look at each other, talk about it, try at that point even to what's that called?
To
Not fix it, but
well,
at
negotiate
least
to listen.
address
To listen. Yeah.
even just addressing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Address
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You may need to take some time to figure it out later, but immediacy, I think, is we definitely have learned that that's the most important thing, and focused and honesty, too.
And I think
Yeah.
in that immediacy, it's not just like ramrodding in there, but it's okay. This is happening. Pause,
Mhm.
breathe together, come together, and try and look at what the underlying issue is. And that is so actually consistent with our ethical, political, parenting, life choice, passion way of functioning, which is to look at the roots and to
Yeah.
see what is really going on. Why am I so agitated at this moment?
Right.
Is it because of what happened, something in the kitchen, or something with the wood burning stove, or with our potty outside, or with
Where did that come from originally? And, why am I getting so triggered right now? And let me learn the lesson. And yeah, that's
and
great.
to know that we're doing this again in relation.
Yeah.
It's not just two egos slamming against each other and the world, but finding the bridges.
Mm, that's
And our
nice.
puppy dog helps. Our
I know. Oh, no, I know. I could
yeah.
tell.
Often we go. Often we go.
No, can you see him?
No, not yet.
No. Here, I'll just show you quickly because he. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's also really a big part of
Oh,
when we
hi, boo boo.
Flowerchi. In terms of a couple isn't just a couple, that we are very much part of multiple worlds. And when we're having a conflict, our conflict is obviously about us, but it's also about so many universes that are coming together. And then how do we address that with ease in the midst of this tension?
The other thing that we've always done, I was just remembering too,
Yeah.
is and we just do this every day anyway. We go for a hike. You know,
Ah,
we go for a walk, we go for a hike every single day,
mhm.
and we often do that too. We say, okay, listen, let's go for a walk, and sometimes, right, you clear your head is
Yeah.
right, but also together, and then we often come back being finished with whatever it was that was difficult.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's sweet. That's so good. Yeah. And walking, moving gets the energy going and can help you shift energetically
Yeah.
too. So, do I remember? Oh God, we get so many success stories that did you
Oh,
guys,
great.
yeah, was it you two that did the Celtic ceremony for your, that wasn't you. Okay, that was someone else.
No, not Celtic. We both
Okay.
have Mediterranean backgrounds.
Oh, nice. Well, I wanted to hit on one thing that I was going to hit on before when I said I had two things, and it just came back to me when you were talking, is that oftentimes what I've seen when people come together is they will do things. It was what you were talking about earlier, Wild. They will do things that they wouldn't do by themselves, like you doing the whole build out of the bus, and like maybe neither one of you would have done it alone, but together it's a project, it's fun, and geez, it's a whole new lifestyle for you both. Like you completely changed your
Yeah.
lives
Yeah.
by coming together, getting the bus, and then just, I mean, completely changed them. And you wouldn't have, I don't think either one of you would have done that alone necessary. No, yeah, yeah, that's really
Yeah, and
cool.
raising our children very differently
Awesome.
because of our togetherness.
Yeah. Well, you guys obviously play off each other. I see you boost each other up. You stimulate each other. There's so much beauty and good and you coming together. I love it. Do you want to show us your
Thank
bus?
you.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is
So
the bus.
here,
And right now, three of you are living in it. Your son,
Um,
no?
no, Zazu is actually currently at a rites of passage program. He's connected to the eco village where we were living in North Carolina. So I'm
Oh,
actually going back and forth right now. But so at this season, it's the two of us with Mochi with our Alaska Malamute, and then
nice.
Zazu we'll be back soon. Um, but and Zazu actually has his own bus since we're talking
Okay,
about it.
that's
So
cool.
here's, I don't know if you can see, yeah. So that's
Okay,
his
cougars.
teenage hangout, and
Wow.
this
Yeah,
is
because he's what, 14 now?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So he's got
Okay.
his bus with his bed and his books and toys and all of that. So let's see. This is again, everything is repurposed. Um, the floors came from, as Wild said, someone who wanted to upgrade to different color. I mean, it's just amazing. Again, with the kind of um, assumptions of, well, I want something new, so I'm just going to throw this away and get a whole other
Yeah.
internal home. When there's the idea, even I was in a art class. I was lecturing in an art class in San Francisco recently, and someone was talking about another person who they had met and said that this person had said that she didn't need her clothes to fit, for example. And everyone gasped, well, that's ridiculous. Of course she needs her clothes to fit. But I thought, oh, of course, yeah, you make them fit. It doesn't mean that you have to be a seamstress, but in other words, our needs, what if our needs were flexible? What if what we think we need was actually different than this agenda, this predetermined agenda? So a lot of that, like the granite, which is also here in the for the hearth, this was all used, including the solar panels, the skylights we added which is a fun addition.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, if you have particular questions about that.
Is there a couch or are there any chairs or a couch?
Yeah, so we have our little living room here. Let's see, how can we, yeah, here's the
Okay.
couch.
Okay, nice. Got it.
Couch, and then so it's across from the wood
A
burning
bench.
stove. This is
Yeah.
a piece that Wilde made, one of the stools that Wilde made.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you still move this, or is it stationary now? Could you drive it?
Yeah, we can still drive it. We have it up on blocks.
Still blocks.
It's been elevated.
Yeah.
And we
Nice.
haven't driven it in a while. We don't want to take it anywhere because this is our home. We rent
Sure. You rent the land. Okay.
From the woman I
Nice.
mentioned in the beginning who fell in love also on Green Singles. She's our landlady.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were talking about that before we started recording. And
yes.
yeah,
No,
share real quick. It's cute.
Yeah, our landlady, she was 69, lives right next door, and was very excited, very passionate woman, and very excited about our connection.
How we met.
And how we relate to one another. And we shared with her about Green Singles. And she looked on, I helped her do her profile, and then she looked and met someone within a week and went to Asheville.
Went North Carolina to visit.
And then
right away,
basically, we never saw her again.
Right, and she moved there.
She moved there. She happens to be visiting for the first time
in years.
4 years since they've been together.
Yeah.
So she's actually here at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Checking out her home. But
and he's not with her?
No, she's just here for a couple of days and then back to Asheville. But just to say, we've made it very like I said before, very little is private. And then when Wilde said that I'm writing constantly, because I do think that sharing our vulnerability, sharing our intimacy is such a vital way to make social change, where people really can feel empowered in their personal lives. And when it comes to bigger pictures around parenting, around consumerism, around
relationships
of all kinds, whether it's intimate relationships or fighting against corporations relationships.
Oh, you guys are so cute. I just love it. Oh, thank you. I just love you guys. And I think,
thank you, Jill.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you guys met and it worked out. And it's just you guys are just so good together. It's just another one of those destined couples that, you just had to meet and had to be together. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Yeah, you're like a little
matchmaker.
Angel.
Thank you.
I mean, that you must feel good going to bed at night, that you brought such happiness into people's lives.
Yeah, it is great. It is, especially doing these interviews, because it makes it all very real.
Yes.
It brings it all home, because online and receiving emails and photos and testimonials is one thing, which is great. And that kept me going for like 25 years. And then I had the idea, like, why don't I just start interviewing people that met? It's got to be like really interesting and inspiring and cool. Like, why not do that? And so I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, but what the hell, I finally did. So
it makes sense, of course. Now.
Yeah. And it's the best. Like, just seeing you guys together, it re-inspires me every time. It's just so beautiful. And I love that you guys are so unique with your lifestyle and your, I've got my property here for sale, and I'm thinking about living in a van for a while, traveling around, and possibly starting a community, joining a community. I'm not sure. So
we're happy to give you ideas.
Cara has a lot of experience. I mean, I have some too, but Cara has tons of experience, so we're happy to share.
Great. Well, we'll have a little personal talk one of these days. That would be, I'd appreciate it. Yeah,
please. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think this is a good place to wrap it up. Do you guys have anything else that you want to share, like to maybe just words of encouragement for other singles still looking?
I get goosebumps just even thinking about the potential. I mean, because we're confronted on a daily basis with so many seemingly impossible challenges, from climate chaos to what it means to raise a teenager to finding the love of your life. And I think it is so important for people to remember the wholeness of who they are and what they have to offer and how they can receive things that they never even fathomed. They never even thought were a possibility. No, they never even um, brought into the realm of, oh, I could be making love with this person for the rest of my life. Or I just it's exhilarating for me, the enormity of it, the kind of the overwhelming feeling of, oh, that could never happen, when
Mm.
it can. If we step into the unknown with an open heart,
And knowing that it's possible to start out with rather than I'm not worthy or it just never works.
other, yeah,
Any of those limiting beliefs, as opposed to just joining green singles, spiritual singles, conscious singles, any of my sites. Jump in and create a profile, be honest on your profile, say exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And you can do it in a nice way. And
we do have a lot of jokes, actually.
do you?
We do refer to, well, wait a minute, that wasn't on your profile.
Right.
Actually, that was on your profile.
We do comment. I mean, we
It is funny.
comment on how we talk about it. It is in our consciousness, even though it's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And we're both grateful and just silly about it.
Yeah.
I love it.
What would be some of your advice, or
I think
more succinct?
I think I've said already that just
Well,
really about honest, being honest, forthright, and really like saying what you're looking for, and being open to other, maybe you're looking for marriage, but maybe long-term relationship is also just as wonderful.
Where there could be
well, yeah, and you guys didn't live near each other when you met, and that
Right.
happens. That's like most of the success stories I've interviewed. That was the case, and so I like to encourage people. Yeah, be open-minded, because the odds of your soulmate living near you aren't necessarily high.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what would you tell, like if someone's single and they're saying, well, I want to meet someone in my area, period. What would you tell?
Well, that's how I started. And then and then I broadened it and broadened it and broadened it, and I was surprised at how much I had in common with other people that were farther away. And
that you were willing to,
and that that at least I was willing to consider and think, oh, okay, well, it's not that hard to visit, and it's not that hard to move if it's necessary, because it's more, to me,
that's the priority.
Right, the priority was to really find somebody that had the passions and the commitments to a lifestyle, and that was in my heart.
Yeah, and was compatible.
Right.
That wanted a similar lifestyle, and then you could create it together, like plan it and say, here's do the blue skying and actually really come up with the best possible life you could create together.
And that you may not even know. Like I never knew I was going to live in a bus, and I don't think you ever knew that you were going to live in a bus. It was something that we did together, as not that we each had this vision and we happened to find each other.
Right.
It was
co-created.
That it was in relation to each other that this other world, this third world emerged.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps. And I think that's oftentimes the case where we have a big vision on our own, but then when we come together with that partner, and then you start brainstorming
Transforms.
and downloading ideas and things just start waking up and like,
Yeah.
then you realize, oh, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that's even more fun, and that's exciting. And
Something
yeah,
different.
oh, that's so cool.
I love it. And thank you for facilitating that. Oh my God. That's
My
I
pleasure.
mean, the facilitator, right? That's
Well, yeah, I look at it as providing the
gift.
venue and the tools. The site continues to evolve too. It's like constantly evolving and based on member feedback. I'm always adding, well, not me, my programmer's always adding and changing stuff and making it as the best possible to help people find each other. Even the match questions, which I think were probably there. I don't know if they were even there when you guys were. There's like 320 match questions now. And the match questions, the people don't have to answer them all. The more they answer, the better the match, because then it shows a match percentage with potential partners. Yeah, it's I think it was before your time or after your time. But things like that are really cool because it shows, oh, you're a 90% match based on all of these questions and all of these different categories.
Right.
It's super helpful. So things like that I add and and just provide that.
And then you got to see if they're wearing cologne.
Right.
in person.
Right. Exactly. Make sure they smell good to you.
For you. Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
No.
Well, I'll let you guys go.
Lovely. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you so much. It's just been an honor and a joy and so fun to learn about your life too and all you've been through. All right. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for more success stories. Are you spiritual and single? Are you ready to meet your soul-aligned partner? That one you feel destined to meet? Join SpiritualSingles.com. We would love to have you as a member. We've been helping singles meet their partners since the year 2000. We're pretty good at it. We have amazing, conscious, beautiful singles that would love to meet you. And it's free to join. So literally you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Give it a shot. Why not? Welcome in advance.